Well guys, welcome back to Linda's Pantry, and today I'm going to bring you another solar oven cook. So we're going to do meatloaf. I was going to do it yesterday and my meat didn't thaw out enough. We did actually, I didn't use the grass-fed ground beef, but the venison that I had planned, I went ahead and seared that off really fast, sliced it real thin. We had it with the salad. So that was delicious. But today I've got 2.5 pounds, or about 2 pounds actually, of grass-fed ground beef. And I've got a cup of grated mozzarella. And then to that I'm gonna add a cup of oats. We've got some garlic that I minced up. And about 1/2 of a large onion, okay? Part of that onion's going inside and part of it's going on top. Now, this is turmeric. Turmeric explains this glove. I don't want to stain my hands. And I've got 3 farm fresh eggs, 1 giant one kind of small, and well, actually this is the smallest. So we got small, medium, large. Anyways, from my friend Vicky, who raises chickens, and these are Arizona chickens. I just washed these eggs off. That was just one big egg with a big yolk. So good. So 3 eggs, and even that little one's got a big old giant yolk. Really bright yellow, love it. Okay, put that right there, and I'm gonna go ahead with my garlic, some of the onion here, and I may need a bigger bowl, darn it. And I want to take about 3/4 of my onion. I'm going to leave about 1/2 cup here on the board, and I am going to get a different bowl because that is going to make it really, sorry about that, it's going to make it really difficult to mix if I don't get a bigger bowl. That's okay. I wanted to do some extra dishes, so there we go. And this is the Zaycon's grass-fed ground beef, 93% lean ground beef. So it's, and grass-fed is the way to go if you're going to have ground beef. So this kind of mixed up a little bit, and the oats will help bind it as well as the egg. And the cheese, just gonna add a little bit of a rich flavor. Okay, let me get my hand washed off a little bit, and then I'm gonna grate my turmeric down in there. It doesn't take over, the flavor doesn't take over, and it's a very healthy additive anytime you can add this to something. So let me wash up, and I'll show you what comes next. Okay, so I kind of got ahead of myself there. We're going to go ahead with the turmeric, and you can see what a pretty orange color that is. It will change the color of the dish a little bit, but it's still going to be delicious. And this is a good 3-inch knob. I washed it off, but I don't take the skin off because it's not that thick. It's not as thick as ginger, so I don't find it a need to. And even my grater, it stains the grater, but it's very good for you, so don't forget, get turmeric in all your dishes that you can. You do want to pair it with black pepper because that activates and makes it more soluble in your system for the curcumin to work well. And that's what helps inflammation. It also helps in digestion. It helps with depression. I'm telling you, it's kind of the miracle root. And I am going to try to grow some in some pots. So there's my turmeric. It's in there. I'm also going to add some Worcestershire sauce, and maybe a tablespoon and a half. I'm not going to measure. We're going to get our pepper in. now that we have our pepper in, we're gonna go ahead with this bruschetta seasoning blend. And I want a good, healthy tablespoon of that. That has a little bit of salt in it, so you'll notice I'm not salting this. Here's a buttery steakhouse seasoning. This also has a little bit of sodium, but very, very low. So I'm going to put a little bit of this in there, about a tablespoon as well. And I'll try to link these in the about section below so you can get an idea. And then just a little bit. Now this is homemade hickory smoked barbecue sauce. It's full of molasses and pepper and garlic, and oh, it's so good. So we're gonna add some of that, and we're gonna go ahead and top the meatloaf with some of that as well. So let's get this all mixed in now. And, yum. Okay, then we're gonna put it in our cast iron loaf pan. And yes, I'm using cast iron. You can use whatever kind of loaf pan you like in your sun oven. It doesn't need to have that black enamel wear or whatever. I mean, it certainly, you can certainly use that. But I've got my Lodge cast iron here, and that's what I'm going to use. It makes really good meatloaf. And I may have enough for two, I don't know. We're gonna see. I'd like to just do one big meatloaf, and then if there's any left, I can make a burger or something with it. But usually getting pretty darn close, depending on how much veg is in here. Yay, okay, perfect. Okay. See, and the turmeric hasn't really changed the color of this all that much. Now I'm going to make a divot down the center, and then all around the edge, I'm gonna kind of make a well around the edge for the sauce. There won't be much fat on this, but you will have sauce. So I'm gonna go ahead with my onions, sprinkle those down in the well. And on the top here, kind of press those in a little bit. They're gonna caramelize and become really sweet as this cooks. And I probably will put a sheet of parchment down underneath this, just so if it does spill over anything, I have a way to catch it, because this is a pretty lofty meatloaf. Okay, and I'm not ready to put it in yet. It's really only going to take a couple of hours. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to put this in the refrigerator as soon as I get this done here. I'm going to put this in the refrigerator, and when I have a break at work, I'll run back home and pop this in, and then go back and do my last client, and we'll be ready to go. So, okay, so drizzle down your barbecue sauce down over the top of that. My mouth is watering because I know how delicious this is. This is one of our favorite meals. And believe it or not, my grandson loves meatloaf. I think the next time they are over, I'm making meatloaf for him, because he really likes it. Okay. Yum. Okay. I think I've got it. And, wipe my hands. And there you go. That looks absolutely wonderful. And hopefully we don't run over. Yeah. And if it does, it's no big deal. Okay. Enough. This is gonna go in the sun oven. Does that look delicious? Oh, I think you guys wanna come for dinner. Come on. It should be ready about 5:30, 6 o'clock. All right. So I'm back home, and I've taken my meatloaf out of the refrigerator. I got my sun oven all set up outside. So we're gonna go out there and get this meatloaf in the sun oven. It's 2:15. So I have a 3 o'clock haircut. By the time I get home, It'll probably be 4:30, something like that. And, you know, depending on how late I hang out. And we'll come home and we'll have meatloaf. And I'm going to, I think I'm going to make a big salad to have on the side. And then some pesto zoodles, which is basically zucchini that I spiralized and then toss it in some pesto, heat it up really quick so it still has a little bit of texture. It makes you feel like you might be having some pasta even though you're just eating healthy. And healthy olive oil with the pine nuts. Everything is as healthy as I can possibly put it on the table today. And we're cooking for free. So, can't beat that. Look at that. It's a 2-pound meatloaf. Delicious. And if I want to, I can put some more of the barbecue sauce on the top too. So let's take you outside and show you. Okay, so we're out here. It's preheated. It's been out here, honestly, only about 10 minutes, and it's up to 225. I'm going to go ahead and put my my meatloaf in. And literally, this is what I do. I get my reflectors out of the way. Open your door, and that's a tempered glass. It's got a sealer here, and the leveling rack is in there. I'll try to show you. And literally, there we go. Don't need much in the way of leveling because we're not going to be moving this around. And I've set it towards 4 o'clock sun. So when you look through these little holes to line up the shadow or the light, you're going to go just past where you need to be. So by the time I get home, it will continue to have cooked and will be at a hotter temperature, if that makes sense. Okay, hold on. Let's give you a look before I close it up. Look at that. Beautiful meatloaf. I don't know if you can see the gauge there, but we're climbing back up to 225. It'll get up to 350 easily. And the misconception is that because it's hot out, it's going to get hotter in there. Not true. It's only going to heat up to what it can with the sun. So it needs the sun exposure for sure. And there's a little slot here on the front that I can turn the little thumb screw, and that keeps this in place so if the wind does come up, it won't, you know, kick the whole thing up and off of it. So that's what we're doing. And I'll see you when we get back home. And oh my gosh, it already looks delicious. I can't wait. Who doesn't love a good meatloaf? You guys, meatloaf's wonderful. And that, my friends, is free. Go down in the About section below. There's a coupon code for $70 off. And that's with the dehydrating kit, the water purification, the pans, everything you need to get started. Or you can buy just the Son-of-an on its own and use your own stuff, and that's $50 off. So click on that coupon code and get yourself a Son-of-an. I consider this one of the best investments I've ever done because it's already paid for itself many times over. Just because I use it whenever possible. Harness that sunshine. Okay, so as you can see, it's a little cloudy. Let's look up in the sky. This is what I got going on. A little partly cloudy. Looks like we might get a little, I don't know, we might get some storming. But what happens, the Son-of-an still cooks. And right now it's at 200. So what I'm going to do, even though it's still cooking and we're going to be eating here pretty quick, I'm going to go ahead and take this out. I've moved it down here on the patio. I've tilted it to get maximum sun, but when the sun is behind the clouds and it doesn't look like we're going to get a break, I'm going to go ahead and take this out and put it in my oven in the house and finish it off. Doesn't that look delicious? Oh my gosh, it smells so good. And I added some more barbecue sauce. It actually See, there we go, 200. Now it's going down, but I added a little bit more because it had really caramelized on there, and so I want it to caramelize some more. It's the internal temperature is 164, but I'm going to finish it off because we want it completely done, obviously. 165. All right, guys, so that's my sun oven cook for today, and I'll show you a picture of the finished product on the plate. And we gotta get, oh, see, now here comes the sun again. Yeah, sunshine, but it's only for a minute. And as long as you have a shadow like this, you are cooking. But we're almost out of sunshine, and I'm not gonna move this any further out into the lawn for today. I'm gonna go ahead and finish it in the oven because Michael's on his way, and we're gonna have dinner. And literally, I might use 10 minutes of power in my oven, and I'm using my on-the-counter oven, so it's really, really reasonable. All right, guys. Yum. I can't wait. So obviously, here it is in the sun oven. And now the meatloaf on our plate with the zoodles and the salad, and it was a big hit. Yum.